is your actual job title? Because I tell people about you, I say, yeah, I know this dude is like a Toyota guru, he's a Toyota tech. I mean, you go around training people. So what is your exact job title?
I am a technical training specialist for Southeast Toyota Distributors. I'll give you some background. We're one of only 2 private distributors in the entire country that sell Toyotas. All the other regions are owned by Toyota. But when Toyota opened its doors, I'm trying to think, I think in the States in the early 60s, maybe late 50s, a lot of the distributorships are private. So the Southeast region, we're still private. But what I do is I train dealership technicians. So dealership technicians come to our shop here in Jacksonville, and then we train them on all sorts of things between engine repair, electrical, hybrid, 4-wheel drive, everything.
So let me ask you this. Well, that alone is very interesting. So if Toyota's about to come out with a new vehicle,
yeah,
your organization has got to learn it before the techs do.
Yeah.
So do you have insight and new stuff coming out before the public at large does, or what?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on the car. And this is a little different too, because I was working for Toyota when the Supra came out, but I was working on the Supra probably a year and a half before it came out.
Really?
Before they even released what it looked like.
Oh, that's neat. So wait, you were working on the components, but not the whole car?
No, I was working on the whole car.
So they had already had models out.
When I was working for Toyota Motor North America, I was working on, so to give you some more background, anytime a car is shipped to a dealer, you have to go through what's called a pre-delivery service. You have to take it out of transport mode, you got to peel the plastic off, put the hubcaps on, tire pressures, check fluids. There's a whole list of things that you got to do.
And that's what? That happens when you're talking about?
When a car gets delivered, a brand new car gets delivered to a dealer.
Okay, gotcha.
So they do all this stuff.
Like even after the port?
Yes.
Yeah, well, okay, gotcha.
So you have to do all this stuff to get it ready for the customer. Well, the Supra has a lot of stuff that needs to happen. And when I was working for Toyota, one of the things that I did was help create the pre-delivery service procedures. So we were working on that car, probably about a year and a half before it came out, and we were doing all the PDSs on those pre-production cars, and then we were kind of just developing as we went.
Gotcha. So, and some of these questions are just making me think of stuff I've always wondered about, but so when a Toyota or any vehicle gets made, and Tacomas are made what? They're made like in Kentucky or something, aren't they?
No, Tacomas are made in Mexico.
In Mexico. What gets made? Isn't there a place in Kentucky?
Yeah, so Toyota Motor, TMMK, Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky, builds a lot of your Camrys, Avalons, and even Lexus. Lexus ES is built there.
So, but any vehicle, once it gets built, I've rolled off the Tacoma and it's done. How long do they run the engine and stuff? They don't, right?
I don't know.
I mean, they just put some gas in it, drive it out, and it's ready to go, right?
I have no idea.
I've always been curious about that because, like if you buy a new lawnmower or something, they run it and then they drain all the oil and stuff out of it before they ship it to you. And then you gotta, put new. But so I've always wondered what's the deal with cars.
I would suspect that with a lawnmower is probably a lot to do with the break-in procedure. A lot of vehicles these days don't require the same break-in procedures that they used to back in the day. So through technology, really as machining technology is advanced, that break-in procedure has kind of gone away a lot. And I don't know if they still have some type of procedure at the plant that they follow. I've never been on the manufacturing side, but a lot of that is greatly reduced. For example, like when you build an engine and you hone a cylinder, you got to run special oil through it, you got to drain it, put more oil through it, and that's to seat the rings to the cylinder walls. Well, with a brand new, at least Toyota, we use micro-hone technology, and that eliminates that cylinder break-in.
So what does that mean, micro-hone? Is it some abrasive or something?
Yeah, so when you hone a cylinder, you're using abrasives. It's basically like sanding a cylinder. And then micro-hone technology is a much finer, a lot more precise, smaller sanding. The grooves that are cut in the side of the cylinder from sanding it are so small that there's no time it takes to seat the piston ring to the side of the wall.
And you can't feel anything. I mean, right? I mean, it feels
Not
smooth
really,
as glass.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see the crosshatch in the cylinder, but yeah, it's pretty
neat.
Pretty smooth.
So I guess, so the reason I was asking about do you have advanced knowledge is, you know, there's been rumors like legit in Auto Magazine rumors since like 2017 that Toyota was getting ready to bring a diesel engine to the U.S. What's the real deal with that? Or do you have any insight?
I have a little bit.
All right, let's hear it.
So I was working in the tech training department when they were talking about that. So this would have been 2018, end of 2018. So for those of you guys who don't know, and I don't know how much as I can share, I guess, but
I mean, do you still work for those people?
I don't.
Well, I mean, seems like you can share it all to me. No, I'm kidding. Do whatever you feel comfortable talking about.
No, it's all good.
You didn't have to sign like a non-disclaimer,
right?
Nothing like that. Okay, go ahead.
This is all according to me. No.
All right, yeah.
So when we were working and developing,
this next exit's us right here.
Okay. When we were developing some of the training for, I don't even remember what car. I think it was Tacoma, because Tacoma had just changed, and I can't remember exactly what we were working
That's when they went to the 8-speed transmission and all that stuff. I mean, the latest model, or?
Sorry, I was looking at that advanced design Chevy that just went by.
Oh, well, I didn't see it. Okay. You do that too?
Yeah.
I want to ask you what you think about a Chevy a little bit later. I've been looking at one. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, so for a long time, Hilux in Mexico.
Yeah, so wait, do they make them in Mexico too?
I don't know where they're made.
Okay.
But they are sold in Mexico.
So they make the Tacoma there, but they don't sell them there.
They do.
Oh, they sell both in Mexico.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
all right,
Mexico might be the only market where you can get both a Tacoma and a Hilux.
Okay. But anyway, so they have diesel Hiluxes in Mexico.
They do now. So
and they make them in the same factory
as
the Tacoma and
no.
Oh, okay.
No, probably.
I was about to say they just didn't drop one in the Tacoma.
So Mexico for a long time.
That way. I'm sorry. We're going to the Osceola Forest, and I'm the guide, and I'm not giving any guidance.
That's all right.
Anyway, it's my bad.
So for a long time, Hilux actually lost its diesel in Mexico. In other parts of the world, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, it retained the diesel, but in Mexico, they got rid of it for a long time. I don't remember exactly how long, but I want to say it was like 10 years or something. So in 2000, someone's going to critique this, I know. I don't know the exact date.
Don't worry about that. I'll delete the comments if they're rude.
No, it's okay. I like them.
Me too.
Sometime, and
there's a Hilux right there. Have you seen that guy?
Is that a Hilux Surf?
Yeah, he's a mail carrier in Glen St. Mary, and he bought a right-hand drive Hilux online.
That's
I think it's like a 92 or 3. I mean, that's about as young as you can get, right? Imported. He's got to be 25 years old.
It has to be 25 years old. So
96, I guess.
Toyota decided, okay, we're going to reintroduce the diesel in Mexico, and then we're going to see how well it's received, and then we're going to use that data to determine if we're going to put it in the Tacoma.
I don't think that doesn't seem like apples to apples to me, because American drivers, I mean, people will buy it just because it's diesel and will try it. And it seems like it's much more about practicality in a place like Mexico.
You can also look at how many Colorado diesels are sold.
Yeah, but how many do they even make?
I don't know that.
Well, see, that's what I was going to ask you about. I've been looking at the ZR2, and I'm interested in that Duramax. What is it? 2.7 liter diesel. It gets
I don't
everybody I've seen online. They claim that even though the stats say they're only getting like 22 miles to the gallon, people report that they get as much as 30. I mean, and it's got plenty of power. I'm just interested in it.
Yeah, low 4-cylinder diesels are sweet.
But anyway, back to the Toyota deal.
So I don't know. It's all about the consumer, right? And obviously we're not. There's a square body. Man, I love square bodies.
They're cool.
And freaking a work truck that is over 30 years old, that's a solid truck.
Still going.
Still going. Yeah, all the old body style trucks are dead and gone, but the square body still lives on.
There was a TV show when I was a kid that the guy drove one of those.
The Fall Guy?
Yes, sir. That is a bad to the bone truck.
So, consumer. So you and I probably are not the basic consumer for most of these cars, and we're typically also not the first owner. So
yep.
We would love a diesel, but a lot of the customers who are the first-time buyers, and they seem not to favor the diesel, and I could be totally wrong, but I don't think that the Colorado diesel is selling as well as they hoped. I think a lot of them are still gas. At least most of the ones that I see on the road are still gas.
I mean, I think they made a lot more of the gas ones too, right?
They did,
anyway, yeah.
But they would, I mean, I don't know. They would change production if there was a lot more demand for the diesel.
Right. That makes sense.
But anyway,
but
so,
for some reason, aren't people a little scared of diesels from Chevrolet?
I don't know.
It seems like people act like they're like, it's not a Ford, it's not a Dodge. Well, which Dodge is Cummins, right? Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
So going back to where we started the conversation.
Yep.
When they were telling us this, they said in 2 years from that point, and I want to say it was 2018, you will see a diesel in Tacoma if we decide to do that. And so we were looking through some material for training for diesel because our technicians know nothing about diesel. Little Tacoma. But it obviously hadn't happened, and I left that group, a few years ago, and so I don't know what has happened then. But there was a teaser. So Toyota had said, and they had showed an updated 4Runner dash. It had the new facelift for the new 4Runner that's coming out, and the tachometer on that dash redlined at 4,000 RPM.
So that's a big deal right there. That's like an accidental, or maybe they didn't do it accidentally.
Who knows? What could have been possible too is that the 4Runner shares the interior with the Prado, and they could have just taken a picture of any old diesel Prado and just said, oh, there's a 4Runner. So I don't think that we're getting a Toyota diesel. It could happen. I wouldn't say that it's totally off the table. I don't totally know, but I highly doubt it.
Got it.
But if we could get that, Jeep guys. If we could get that 1VD, was that FTV 1VD? I can't remember, the one that comes in the cruisers down south. That thing has got to be the most beautiful sounding diesel I've ever heard.
So what is that's not the diesel that's like in a 79 series?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
The current 79.
Oh, yeah. Those do sound awesome.
Yeah, the 4.5.
So how long has it been for like 10 years or so? Or?
I believe the first production year was 2007. So we got to wait.
So it's like the one that's in Ronny Dahl's 79 series.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously he's got aftermarket exhaust and stuff like that on it. But
well, that's why
that does sound awesome. Yeah. Okay. So that would be the one if they did it potentially. That would be the diesel.
The diesel? No.
Oh.
No, we would get a 4-cylinder diesel.
Okay, gotcha. That's a V8 diesel, right?
That's a V8.
Yeah. Interesting. And so, for context, this is a 19. What's your Land Cruiser?
93.
93, and it's triple locked from the factory.
It's triple locked from the factory.
So why did they not sell them all like that? Was it that expensive?
It was expensive, yeah. Okay. So people fight me on this online all the time, and I don't care. But at one time, I had gone through all the Monronis.
Yeah.
I don't remember if this was while I was working at Toyota or afterwards, but I had found Monronis for locked trucks and for unlocked shocks, and I want to say that the price difference was a $6,000 difference.
Yeah, so, but you know what? I don't know, but for what you can do with triple lock vehicle.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to go back in time too. Like in the '90s, like this truck was competing with, well,
fancy stuff.
Yeah, fancy stuff.
It wasn't off road. Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I saw one of these.
It was, but it wasn't, right? Like it has a lot of off-road capability because it shares a lot of the off-road stuff from a lot of the base model trucks in other countries that are utility trucks.
Right.
But it was marketed in our country as being a luxury vehicle. Especially in '93 and on.
It was
that's
like
when it had leather.
Toyota's answer to Discovery, which was still a real off-road vehicle back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of those customers, I don't think were too crazy about it. And again, like people like you and me, we're second, third, fourth owners that want to modify the hell out of this thing.
So take it right here.
Not a ton of people, and I mean, look at 200 series now. Like, how many modified 200 series you see?
Not in America.
No, every single one you see is stock.
But it's because it's so expensive.
Well, just wait. Wait a few
I
years.
know, but how many years? Because the earliest 200 is like a 2008, and they're still going for
30s,
at least
35,000,
and just no matter how many miles are on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, at least in my personal finance situation, to spend $30,000 on a vehicle, I'm going to need a loan, and I'm not going to be able to do the loan long enough to be able to pay for, you know,
because that's
it wouldn't make good financial sense.
48-month loan.
Yeah, right,
like
right.
$500 a month.
Well, I mean, and that's not a crazy car payment these days, because you can buy a brand new Tacoma. They go up to almost 50 if you get all the bells and whistles.
I'm not a new car guy. I don't.
Well,
I wouldn't know exactly. I'm just speculating. But yeah.
So what kind of trail do you want to go on?
I don't matter.
So have you seen a video of me going down that trail that's real tight? Like brush will rub your paint.
Oh, this paint's crap.
All right, you got to get it's going to be covered in water, but it's got a hard bottom. You want to try that one?
Sure.
Okay.
I might have been on it before.
You may have.
I was on this road once, and I was in really deep water, and there's an alligator swimming in front of the truck.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was cool. And that's the thing. I've seen alligators just like turn off the pavement, and there's an alligator crossing the road where there's no water. Because out here, you know, as soon as they get big enough, they got to leave the pond and find their own spot. Sure. Because the big gator will run them off. So
man, Okefenokee.
Oh my gosh, that was cool, huh?
So many gators.
Yeah.
So many.
So in the U.S., they are not. Is the 200 series done? Period, or is it just done here?
I don't. It is done as far as we know. I think I think 2021. I can't remember. 21 or 22 is the last year, but the people are calling it the 300. I don't know if it's going to be called the 300. The pictures that I saw, from the one that they had showed in the Middle East or whatever, it had a lot of the same body panels from the 200, so it could still be a 200.
That's where we're going to exit.
Okay. It could still end up being a 200. I don't know, but
aren't they talking about an electric too? I saw a video online where somebody was saying that the 300 they were going to make it all electric.
I would bet that in this country
it won't be, right?
No, I bet in this country you'll see a V6 hybrid in the Lexus and the LX.
That would be cool.
I don't know what they'll call it, LX 500 or I don't know.
You're going to take a left on this little road.
They'll probably call it LX 500 because that's the same drivetrain that's in what the. Is there a hybrid option?
Oh, this is you right here. I'm sorry. A hybrid option in what?
The LS? Maybe there's not.
I don't know.
I can't remember. It's been too long since I worked on.
So wait. So there's still a Lexus version of a 200 series
in this country.
Country, that's going to continue.
Of what people are calling it.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So when the 300 comes, the rumor on the street is that the Land Cruiser is being discontinued in this market, but the Lexus will live on. But that makes sense because every single year, for the most part, I don't know about 80 series years, but 100 series years and on, the Lexus version outsold the Land Cruiser every year.
That's crazy, isn't it? Well, I mean, I don't know if it's crazy. The people that can afford it want a premium vehicle.
Exactly. So Toyota puts, so if you're in any other country, or for your guys in Australia, so like US trucks, we just call them Land Cruisers. In Australia, they would call them Land Cruiser Saharas.
Okay.
So that's like the luxury package. The sunroof.
But see, over here, all of ours are like that.
All of ours are like that.
They don't even sell a cheaper version.
They don't sell a cheaper version. They only
I would
sell
love not to have a sunroof.
So would I. I hate the sunroof. It sucks.
I have tried hard. I can't figure out where it's coming from, but I got water in my floor sometimes, man.
Yeah,
and I'm confident it's coming from that drain. And I've fished it out with a coat hanger and all kind of stuff. Anyway,
so all of ours are Saharas. Well, the problem is we also have the LX, the Lexus version, which is also Sahara, but it looks a lot better. It has fancier leather in it. It has a bigger TV screen in it. But otherwise it's exactly the same. And both of them are in the $90,000 price range. So if you're a customer trying to buy a luxury vehicle, are you gonna buy a $90,000 Toyota, or are you gonna buy a $90,000 Lexus?
Right.
So and this is just, I mean, I do not speak for Toyota, but what I think they should have done is made a bare bones version like they do in some of these other countries, like the in fact I think they even call them the LX, which is kind of confusing. The LX trim Land Cruiser.
That is confusing.
But like an LX trim in Australia or New Zealand or South Africa, and then sold that here, because I think when you do the exchange between the Australian dollar, the US dollar, even though the US dollar is going to be worth nothing here in the middle of it, it's about a $60,000 truck. So I think if they would have sold a stripped down Land Cruiser version for about 60 grand here, I think you would have seen a lot better sales in the Cruiser.
Right.
And then obviously resale for guys like you and me would have been a lot better.
That would have been awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably would have sold a lot more of them, I mean, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's around this next bend and it's on the left. So I'm taking Chris to a trail that I love this right here. Love to take people to. People have taken down the road sign. These people that live right here, they own the houses, but they don't own the property. So I'm going to turn this around.
Dang,
And it's a tight trail. And I've taken a lot of people here on other videos. I'm going to restart.
those Aussies don't have to worry about that.
Well, so what do you mean they don't have to worry about it? They just don't have distributors at all?
No, diesels don't have distributors.
Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. I was like, what is thinking? So are you going to lock them all three in?
No.
Just the center?
Yeah, center's in and we're in 4-low, but I probably don't. I just put it in 4-low so that if we need to put the lockers on, we can put the lockers on.
So forgive the shakiness, I'm just holding the GoPro.
Shaky shit cam.
Yep. And so this is a numbered trail that's on the map.
I should have brought the chainsaw, man. Holy cow.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. And I have had to like nudge a tree that was half fallen and back off to let it fall out here a couple times.
Oh, she ain't that deep.
Nah.
Exhaust is underwater though.
What is your exhaust? Is it Borla?
No, it is custom to fit the, well, so I bought this cruiser from a buddy of mine.
Right.
And he had a 3-inch exhaust put on it. And then I had to have the end cut to work with the 4x4 lab zero bumper that I put on there. And it was just too loud. And so I was like, man, can you put a resonator on back there? And they just found some Hellcat resonator they had cut off someone else's car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got a Chrysler.
Oh, no kidding.
Chrysler badge stamped on it.
I mean, it sounds good. I don't like it real loud.
I don't.
Not on a vehicle this old. I want to hear what's happening with the vehicle. You know, if I'm going down the highway, I don't want to hear just that drone and not hear something going wrong. And so right then, what did you do?
I just took the switch off so that when I take it out of 4-low, it'll automatically pull the diff lock off, the center diff lock off.
So wait a second. So you've got the diff lock engaged with the lever.
You want to do a run through real quick?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Hold on.
So, all right. So, Land Cruiser 80 series, I guess, in this country, you put it in low, and then it automatically throws. You're gonna see my ABS light. All the cruisers in this country, I feel like, have ABS.
Yep.
So you throw it in low, and it automatically throws a center diff lock on. Well, in 1991 and 92, if you had a 3F, it had a center diff lock switch where you could engage the center diff lock in high gear.
That's just right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you own an 80 series, it doesn't matter which 80 series. If you own an 80 series past 92 and don't have a center diff lock, you can just get the button and the wiring is there. So
but I'm confused because I thought when I did this, I was locking the center differential. Okay.
But this is so that you can gauge it in high gear. So we're in high gear right now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say you go to the beach and you want a lot of wheel speed. Okay, you want to go fast, but you still need the center diff engaged because you want to be in 4-wheel drive. So you'd hit the switch, and then we have the center diff lock engaged, but we're in high gear.
Okay, that makes sense. So basically, you're doing the same thing with the diff. You can just move at higher speeds because you don't have to put it in low.
Right.
Okay.
So this is basically like in any other part-time truck. This is like 4-wheel drive high.
Okay, gotcha. Makes sense.
Which is good for higher speed stuff.
I've installed that switch on mine, and I mean, I haven't really gotten a chance to play with it yet to see the difference.
It works awesome at the beach.
Does it? Yeah.
That's either a fishing line on the antenna or a really thick spider web.
It's probably a spider web. There's some monsters out here.
I think it could be a fishing line. It's
what just ran across the road? I didn't see what it was.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
We'll have to go back and watch the video. Maybe we caught something on there. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what I was going to say. So mine is a 96. Yeah. And honestly, my ABS still works, by the way.
That's awesome.
Well, at least let me just. The light doesn't come on until I engage the. That's good. So that means it seems like it's working. At least the actuator thinks it's working, right?
That probably is.
But honestly, it's not even a real ABS, is it? Isn't it? It's kind of like it's kind of like the precursor to real ABS.
It is a 3-channel, I believe.
All right.
Yeah. So 3-channel being, and I could be totally wrong. I haven't really looked at it that close, but I believe it controls the front 2 wheels and then the separately, and then the back axle together.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very, very cool. Well, I'm very, I mean, I don't know why I'm that interested. I've never even owned a diesel engine, but I'm very interested in getting one.
Well,
fuel economy, I don't know. It seems like, it's probably an incorrect thing to say. It seems like they generally produce more torque because of the, I don't know, is that not it? Yeah. They do, don't they? I mean,
the biggest sell point for me would be fuel economy, or like being able to get more range.
Exactly.
Especially
That's me too.
In the 80, like we've only got what, 18, 19 gallon tank.
Yep.
Doesn't get you very far.
I mean, there's a lot of good options out there for getting a, you know, an auxiliary tank added.
Yeah, but you lose that space for using it for something else.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's true. I mean, they make one that'll fit where the spare tire used to go, but I'm not sure if I want it there either. If you haven't cut your frame, yeah. And you have?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So if you do the 4x4 Labs rear bumper, you take it's like 5 or 6 inches out of the back of the frame.
Okay, and then do you put that back cross piece back on there? So it's not there anymore.
Nope. So there's
probably not a bad thing.
Receiver. There's a receiver bar inside the 4x4 Labs bumper that takes up the rigidity.
Okay, I got you. And so is that designed that way so that you can not have everything sticking out so far out the back?
Yeah.
Because that is the problem with the rear bumper I've got. I love it, other than now I've got an extra like 6 inches out the back.
Yeah, so it's got much better, with the 4x4 Labs bumper after you cut the frame, it has a much better departure angle.
Gotcha. So, in other countries, there is the Prado. And I gotta be honest with you, I did not really even know what it was until, I mean, I've heard people talk about them. Yeah. And did they call them a 105 in some countries?
So 105 just designates the series. So,
right.
But 105 is not a Prado.
Okay, that's a real,
it
was like a step up from the, if you go left, there's some more cool stuff we can do. Okay. So, but I just became aware of them. Let me just do this again. If we get to a real cool trail, we will turn it around again. So, I didn't really become aware of them until that dude that I follow on Instagram, Harry Fisher Fire to Fork, he got that new one. He sold his 80 series, yeah. Well, he got a Prado. He got a Prado.
Oh.
And so then looking at it, I realized, I said, that thing looks like a Lexus.
Yes.
I mean, totally different grill, and that Lexus grill is disgusting to me.
Yeah.
But
especially if it's the early 460. Look, terrible.
Well, there's one that's like honeycomb. Somebody said it looks like Predator.
That's called the spindle grill. So that's a Lexus design. All the Lexuses have the spindle grill now.
Gotcha.
Because if you look, it kind of looks like a spindle of yarn or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you can get that thing. I mean, I don't know if it's standard on all of them. They have a locking rear diff. Or is that an option? Yeah, the Lexus. Is that a 460 or 470? And I'm not sure if I know what the difference between the two of those are.
So it's just a
newer year?
Yeah, okay. So that's based on the Prado. The reason why it looks so familiar is Lexus is 100% based on Prado. Like if there was such, maybe there is, our Australian friends can tell us, but there may be a Sahara trim, and if there was, the Lexus would be the closest thing to that would be like a Prado Sahara, if it even exists. I don't know.
And just for clarity, you can't get one of those with a diesel in America either.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No diesels. There's no Toyota sold in this country that has a diesel.
It's interesting. Interesting.
I mean, I guess if you count Hino, then Hino. But
count what now?
Hino.
What is that?
Hino's Toyota's trucking company.
Oh, you mean like the big boys?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know what those things interest me, and they're not. I mean, if you look at the price difference between a 4Runner and one of those, they're not that dissimilar. I mean,
so 4Runner is on a Prado chassis. So what a lot of people get confused about is 4Runner for first, second, and third gen 4Runner were based on the Hilux Surf. After that, they were all based on the Prado.
And they look identical to a Hilux of the same year, don't they?
Right.
I mean, pretty much.
Hilux Surf, at least.
Yeah, Hilux Surf.
So you have, so Toyota's going this.
Have you ever seen that? Oh, this is not the one. Have you seen that Hog Pen Landing camping ground?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, it's coming up.
So Toyota's going to the Toyota New Global Architecture, right? TNGA. Have you ever heard of TNGA?
Mm-mm.
So all of their cars are based off of certain platforms. So, and I forget what all of them are, but you have like TNGA-K, TNGA something. They all are letters.
This is us right here.
So
Just take a left.
you've got cars that are loosely based off of each other even before TNGA officially launched. And then when the new Tundra and Tacoma come out, you're going to see how much even closer Tacoma and Tundra are going to be. They're going to share more parts than they have in a long time.
Well, when is that happening?
The next couple of years.
So do you mean you're going to be able to get a V8 in the Tacoma?
No.
All right. So what parts are they going to share?
As far as I understand, Tundra's losing its V8 too.
So they're going to have the same V6. Different V6.
No, I bet Tacoma will stay naturally aspirated, and I think Tundra is probably going to go turbo. I think Tundra is getting the same engine that's in the the LS 500 right now.
So do you think, like currently in the Tundra, which is an awesome truck, and to me, I love it because it's still not as big as like a Silverado or something, you know, width and stuff.
Sure.
Not quite. But why don't they make it with a diff lock? I mean, why would they not do that? Maybe I'm fixated on diff locks for no reason. Which in the Tacoma, that's exactly the opposite. Right?
No, the Tacoma,
the TRD Pro, you've got what? Tell me what you think.
Okay, so the diff lock though comes in the TRD off-road.
That's true. That's true.
So the TRD, I don't know about. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, crawl control too. You can get in the TRD off-road. So
the Pro is just a different trim line.
Yeah, it comes with rigid lights. The bumpers are paint matched. And
which I mean, most people are going to get rid of those bumpers anyway, if they're serious off-roaders. Or
I mean, you go to a First Coast Toyota meet, half of them still have stock bumpers. I mean, people who buy trucks like that brand new, they either can't afford to modify them right away.
That's the problem too.
Or they just they want to wait until the warranty's over. So they stay stock for a lot longer.
Toyota will void your warranty if you change the bumper, the front bumper.
You can, yeah. So it depends on the component, but for example, like FJ's had a really big problem with this, like early FJ's 07 and 08. If you would put a bigger bumper on the front and take it off-road where you'd have a decent amount of flex in the chassis, adding that extra weight to the chassis could increase the amount of chassis fatigue.
Okay.
And it would actually crack.
Oh my goodness.
It would crack the inner fender. So
it makes sense that they would avoid the warranty. If
you go look at like an 07, I'm not sure about 08. At some point they put an extra reinforcement panel in there, but like 07, 08 FJ Cruiser that has an ARB bumper on it that's been off road, go look in the inner fenders and they're probably cracked all the way up. It's pretty common. So it depends on the component. Like they're not going to void the whole car. But if a modification directly caused the component to fail, then
you might not get that fixed. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I can understand that.
So, for example, like if you had an FJ when it came out and it caused the fenders to crack, then most places wouldn't honor that.
So, a lot of people that have Land Cruisers hate on the FJ. What's your thinking? I kind of like them. Take a left right here.
So.
Go ahead, be honest. I mean, it's got a great. Here's why I like them. Let me tell you that first.
Okay.
Short wheelbase, and I mean, for that
shorter than 4Runner, but 4Runner's still pretty short.
That's true, but they didn't have a lot of room inside. They looked kind of stupid at first to me, but it grew on me. I mean, I know they were trying to look a little retro with the white top and all that.
So
stuff.
You know the triple wiper thing?
No.
Have you ever seen?
They got triple wipers.
They've got 3 wiper blades across the windshield.
For what?
Well, so I didn't know. But then I was looking at, I think, a Mr. Land Cruiser video. And he had a 40 series in his yard that was the LX package.
They got 3?
And there were certain, I don't know, our Australian friends could tell us, but there were certain 40 series that you could get, I think they were LX trim, that had, or Sahara trim, I'm not sure, but that had 3 wiper blades across. And I think it was like a tribute to that when they built the FJ Cruiser. But let me just preface this by saying, do I feel that the FJ Cruiser is a Land Cruiser?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
I don't really consider the Prado a Land Cruiser. Do I think that
other people feel the same way, but you know in Australia when you crank it up it says Land Cruiser on the screen and stuff?
Yeah.
And it even got a badge.
All marketing.
All right, so just in case you've never seen this, let's show everybody this.
Right
we're not going to go into the lake. So this is the Hog Pen Landing Campground. I've camped out here a couple times.
Ocean Pond?
That's Ocean Pond.